is all. You know,
Yeah.
if you can control the area, then that area is going to be secure. And we didn't really have that when we were there. So I think towards it we were, you know, it was going back and forth, I guess you can say. We would take control, they would take, you know, we would run into these conflicts, and it was like a ping pong match going back and forth. And once the surge happened and we got these, you know, the right personnel in, we were able to stabilize it a little more, which you could see, okay, now this area is going to have a little bit more hope for stabilization.
So you're in November now, 2007. Your unit's getting ready to leave Iraq. Was there any type of drawdown training or remobilization training within theater to prepare you to reintegrate?
We had a couple briefings. The chaplain spoke to us a couple times, kind of what to expect. Our higher NCO said, you know, do this. You know, remember what you're getting back into, back with the States. Just some light briefings, more or less. It wasn't too in-depth at all, though.
How was the homecoming?
It was very nice. I mean, it was definitely a relief, and it actually feels good to know that these families and supporters came out to, you know, see you guys come back. And when we walked into, we flew into Alaska and came in at nighttime, and down the whole strip there were signs and people, and I mean, we had a gymnasium at the fitness facility on base, and it was packed. And seeing looking around and knowing that, you know,
did your parents come?
They didn't. They weren't there. A lot of people couldn't come because it's Alaska, and you know, financially or what have you. More or less the families that live there, but we were going on leave right afterwards anyway, so you know, so might as well just wait to do the homecoming when we come home. So that homecoming was definitely, regardless of who was there or not, it was
like a field house situation,
yeah,
filled with people.
Absolutely.
Did you cry?
I was a little emotional. Yeah, a little emotional. I mean, when you're looking at Iraq as a country, and you see the third world country, and you come back, and you're like, well, back to my reality that I remember. It's like, you know, it's such a relief. It really is.
What was the hardest part? I mean, certainly there's relief immediately. Was there anything that sticks out to you in those first 4 to 5 weeks, or 2 to 3 weeks? It was a wow moment, or a...
Well, it was. I think it was hard for everybody to kind of get back into the swing of things. Like, we were on such a...
How about a specific, like one moment or one something that stuck out to you?
Well, to be honest with you, I think we all, you know, halfway through our deployment, we would make lists of, this is what I'm going to do when I get back, right? So we had a bucket list made, and, you know, me and my buddies were like, okay, we just made a good amount of money, let's go spend some money. So we headed right into town right afterwards. Once we kind of got settled in, we really didn't have much, we didn't have any of our housing or anything set yet. We got cabs, and whoever had a vehicle, we went into town, and, you know, we spent some money that we didn't have before on cars and TVs. So that was, like, very exciting and a relief, like, wow, okay, this is worthwhile a little bit here. So it was, I would say, just coming back into the civilian atmosphere here in the States, and, you know, having our goals, what we want to do, and that was probably what I remember most from homecoming.
Yeah.
So that was kind of exciting to, you know, we talked about, oh, we're going to do all this, and now we can put it to reality. So.
Yeah. And then you're back in Alaska, and you start to transition, or what happens at this point? You get back from leave, obviously.
Sure. I actually, I signed a 3-year contract, so I was done in August of 2008, and we got back from leave in January, February. So my command knew that, you know, I actually had some shoulder problems. I had to get surgery, which pretty much took me out that whole year.
A result of the deployment?
Yeah, I don't know how it came about. I had the pain, and when you're there, you don't have the medical support to say, oh, I got a pain, I'm going to go get an MRI, you know. And I don't know where it came from or what, but I had a lot of shoulder pain. And I came back and got all the the first week I was there, he said, you know, your whole labrum's tore off your shoulder socket. And I was kind of surprised, like, he's like, you're in pain? I was like, yeah, I was in pain. I just dealt with it, because that's what you did. You dealt with it. And he's like, we got to operate, you know, ASAP here. So I did my operation right after we got back, and visited a lot of chiropractors. And I was pretty much just recuperating my last year in the service until my contract was more or less up. So
No thoughts of re-enlistment?
no.
Why not?
I always thought, my goal was to, contribute in which way or another. You want to be part of history. You want to do the experience, and I did the experience. I accomplished that check on my bucket list. And it wasn't the fact that I didn't want to do it, but physically, aside physically in pain and having knee problems and disc problems and stuff like that, I couldn't keep doing that over and over and over again. There's just no way, And as these veterans benefits came out, and they said, hey, well, there's this new GI Bill coming out, you would be pretty much not, be foolish not to take advantage of what was going to be given to veterans. I'm going to give you X amount of dollars and a scholarship to go to college. Why not take advantage of that? So, I was like, might as well get an education. If it ever came down the road, I would have a degree to fall back upon. So, given everything I experienced, I just wanted to educate myself a little more, and I knew I could do a lot more from the experience I had besides the military, regardless if it's federal, what have you. So I did my time and moved on. So
What brought you to Westchester?
well, I'm in the health and physical education department, and from talking with other individuals, I understood that the department here was very well, and it's not that far from where I'm residing now in Bucks County. So, given the location, people I knew here, it was almost a good transfer in. I started at a community college back home for a year, and transferred in, which made it a little easier. And I love the area, and it's been a great experience over the last year or so.
What's been your experience as a veteran here, specific to that?
Well, it's very difficult to kind of fit in with the younger crowd. I came back I went in young, so I kind of got out young. But I noticed a lot of veterans here of an older age, and their mindset's a little different. You have an experience. You've been in the professional world. You've been in a professional environment for 3 or more years, 6 years, what have you. These veterans coming back, and you get put into a school environment, and everything's kind of slow-mo in your eye. Everything's more not be here, be there, be here. So kind of falling back on the page with everybody else is kind of hard, and you feel kind of, more or less, my experience, you feel like a little outcast. You feel definitely not on the same page as the peers in the classroom. And, when any subjects get brought up about, the war and whatever, you kind of feel, like these people have no idea what I've done or anything like that. So it's knowing that a lot of the college students have no idea kind of bothers me, and they only know what they've seen on television or CNN, and that's it. And there's a lot more to the global war on terrorism or the conflicts overseas. It's
what it smells like, what it tastes like, what it feels like.
Oh, absolutely. And kind of it's definitely a step back, when you're coming from that environment to college. I mean, not saying that's a bad thing. It's definitely a lot more relaxed and allows you to kind of come down to reality a little bit. But I mean, just kind of finding your place is a little.
What's the one thing that you would say to them, or one suggestion you would make to them to help them outside of joining the military and deploying, that would help them to better understand? I mean, obviously, listening to your story would help, but if there's...
Sure. Well, to get first-hand experience, information is huge. I think talking with somebody can kind of give you an insight. I think telling them to go do some personal research. I mean, I did a lot of personal research myself. You can find stuff online and read stories, and they've made documentaries that not many people know about of Afghanistan and Iraq that you can find these productions made.
Why? I mean, why is it? I guess the real question is why? Why would I? Why would I go any further to research it?
I mean, if the students want to find personally want to know more, I think they're great resources. But
why should they want to know more? I guess is the real question.
Well, they gotta understand. I mean, I guess everybody's opinion or ideas on the wars would be different, but I'm not saying I feel like there's not many people